air's not real hot and heavy, but we heard you, man. Up there in Calgary, 73 again, John Wayne Airport.
All right, so today we've got a Cobra 139 XLR, and we're going to do a Clarifier unlock procedure on this radio. This radio has been restored by me, and other than just some LED lights behind the meters, this is an all-stock radio. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock the Clarifier on it. This will probably be my last Clarifier unlock video I do. If you look at my channel, I've done a few of them, and mainly just because I haven't seen any videos on YouTube of anybody actually showing you how to unlock the Clarifier. I mean, there might be a couple on there, but very few. So I thought, well, looks like there's a need to show it. It could probably help some people out, and I've got oodles of radios to play with, so I figured I'd sacrifice a few and go ahead and unlock the Clarifiers on them so you could see how it's done. And the way I do it, it's easily reversible, so not a big deal if I want to put it back to a stock Clarifier. So we'll go ahead and get the covers off this radio, top and bottom, and we'll start the procedure, and I'll walk you through it step by step, and we'll show you what it can do afterwards, performance wise, and we'll just go from there. So we'll be back here in a minute. Okay, so we've got the covers off, top and bottom here, and right here is our Clarifier potentiometer, and the power input is this brown and wire with the white stripe, and that is terminated over here in the PLL section right there. So we're going to desolder that from its termination point, and we're going to move it over here to this rail right here. This is 7.8 volts. So that'll give us a constant 7.8 volts regardless if we're in transmit or receive. Right now we just have our voltage present on the Clarifier potentiometer only in receive. So that's mod number one. We'll do that. I'll leave the other side of the potentiometer alone. I'm not going to hard ground it. I just leave it where it's at. I found on these 138 XLRs, TRC 459 or 449s, the TRC 458s, leaving that other side of the Clarifier where it's terminated is sufficient. There's no need to hard ground it. And then on the other side of the board, we're going to make a couple of changes here. So now we're back in the PLL section over here. You see R117, we're going to lift a leg of that. R119, we're going to lift a leg of that. And then D30, right over here, we're going to lift one leg of that. If I can get my pointer down there. Yeah, here's D30, we're going to lift one leg of that. And then once we do those four things, this Clarifier will be unlocked. And then we can go ahead and align it. So we'll go ahead and knock out those real quick, and we'll be back. All right, so we got the radio fired back up here on the bench, and here you see we've gone ahead and moved our power for our Clarifier potentiometer over to that 8-volt rail I was talking about. So that's been done. And then on the other side, we have over here in the PLL circuit, you'll see how I do it here. We have one leg of R117 and one leg of R119 lifted. That way I can restore it if I choose to. And then on the other side here, you'll see that we've got one leg of, if this is focused there, I can't tell, one leg of D30 is lifted, and that is it, folks. The Clarifier is now unlocked. So we're on channel 19 here, and we're going to go ahead and just generate we're going to put a 1 kilohertz tone into it. We're going to look at it on lower sideband. Let me just show you where this Clarifier is right now. So right now our Clarifier is centered there. I don't know if I can see that or not. Centered right in the middle, and I'm going to show you. There's full left. Does that help? I don't think so. Let me get a light. I just want to show you where the pot's sitting at. let's see. All right, so there's 12 o'clock on our pot. And we're going to move it all the way to this side, and you can see where it's sitting at. Here we go. We're going to move it all the way to the other side. You can see where it's sitting at. So the clarifier pot is, or the knob is where it needs to be at. Okay, so now we're back to 12 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and cue this radio, and we'll look at what its output frequency is now. And we should be at 271840 megahertz. That's where we want to be at for lower sideband on channel 19. So let's key it up here, and let's look and see what our frequency is. So we're at 27,182. So I'm going to move the clarifier here. I'm going to move it over to one side. You can see, so there we're almost where we want to be at. There we go. That's pretty close. That's within 20 hertz of where we want to be at. And you can see here where our clarifier is sitting at. So it's about 2 o'clock position to get us to where we want to be at on lower sideband. So we're going to do an alignment on this radio now that we've got it unlocked to get it where we want. So now we're back down here to 27,182. So let me turn this off here. Let me stop transmitting. Okay, so, and I've explained this in every clarifier unlock video I've done so far, and this is why I'm doing them, is to show people this and to explain this. So on these 138 XLRs, 139 XLRs, realistic TRC 449s, TRC 458s, 457s, Robin 510s, same radio internally. You've got your receive offset pots, which are located right here for AM upper and lower sideband, and then you've got your transmit offset pots on the other side here. It's hard to see them, but they're right down here. There they are. Right there. There's your transmit offset pots for upper and lower sideband, and then you would use this pot here for AM. So you can use, or if you go onto a forum after doing any general clarifier unlock procedure for a CB, what they'll tell you to do is to align your transmit offsets to get them back in alignment. I don't do that. What I do is completely different, and I've said this before. You pretty much just throw the PLL book alignment out the window. It's not going to be the same. But what I need to explain is that you can also use your receive trimmer capacitors on this board, receive offset trimmer capacitors for AM lower sideband and upper sideband, in conjunction with your transmit offset trimmer capacitors to get the overall frequency you need. And so we're not going to go onto a test point in here and look for 34 megahertz on the receive offsets, or 7 megahertz out here on the transmit offsets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use both the receive and transmit offset trimmer capacitors in conjunction with each other, and I'm going to set my overall output frequency, looking at it on a frequency counter, to get aligned the way I want to be aligned. So yes, you can use these receive offset trimmer capacitors, and this is the same for any CB radio. You can do the same exact thing. Once you unlock the clarifier circuit, not only are the output or the transmit offset adjustments available to you, but the receive offset adjustments are available to you as well. And if you do it in this method where you're watching the output frequency of the radio, you can use both the receive offset and transmit offset adjustments in conjunction with each other to set your overall frequency, and it works fantastic. And you can get dead on frequency. You don't have to, you won't run, especially with these trimmer capacitors here on these types of boards, you don't have a whole lot of adjustment. So I could try to just adjust my lower and upper sideband trimmer capacitors out here, the transmit offset trimmer capacitors, and I will quickly run out of adjustment. And then the only thing you're really forced to do at that point is to pull your knob off and just reset your 12 o'clock position, your center slot, which I don't want to do that. I'd rather have my center slot being at 12 o'clock. So, and you can easily do that by using the receive offset and the transmit offset trimmer capacitors in conjunction with each other. You know, I said this in the last video. You see on a forum or on forums where they'll say, well, if you run out of adjustment on your trimmer capacitor, just add another whatever value picofarad trimmer capacitor in parallel with your actual transmit offset trimmer capacitor to get more adjustment. Well, you don't need to do that. You can just simply use the receive offset trimmer capacitor and the output or the transmit offset trimmer capacitor in conjunction with each other to set your overall output. So we're going to do that right now. And if you want to see, I'll just do the lower so you can see the lower and how it's done, and then we'll look at all three when we're finished. So let me get set up to make that adjustment, and then I got to find my other smaller adjustment tool, and then we'll be right back and we'll do the lower. Okay, I found my other tool that I needed here. All right, we're going to start with lower sideband. So you see our clarifier is at 12 o'clock. Our center slot is at 12 o'clock. That's what we're shooting for. So we're going to go ahead and key up this radio on channel 19. And we're keyed up, and we're looking at our output frequency there. So now we're going to get in here on our trimmer capacitor for the receive offset trimmer capacitor for lower sideband. See, I'm in it now. Now watch as we move this. So there we go. I'm going the wrong direction. Let me bring it up the other way. There we go. And I'm going to come up about as far as I can go with this receive offset trimmer capacitor before I start adjusting the transmit offset trimmer capacitor. I'm going to come up to about 400 hertz shy, maybe 200 hertz shy. Okay, so I run out of room there. That's as far as I can go with the receive offset trimmer capacitor. So now I'm going to get on my transmit offset trimmer capacitor down here, and we're going to go the rest of the way. All right, I think I'm on it there. Yep, I'm on it. All right, so now I'm going to come up, coming around. About 100 hertz off. Getting close. And there we go, folks. Oh, I can't. Took my tool off it and dropped off a little bit. Let me get back on it. There we go. Oh, a little bit shy again. There we go. Pretty dang close. Take one more shot at it. You take your tool off, you usually seem to fall off on frequency a little bit. All right, so we're within 20 hertz there. We are 1 kilohertz below the carrier on channel 19. That's where we want to be. And you see we use both the receive offset and the transmit offset trimmer capacitors to make that happen. All right, so now let me go ahead and do, and we see our center slot is still 12 o'clock here. We haven't changed anything. Still here at 12 o'clock, if you can see that. All right, so let me go ahead and knock out, there, I'm not keying anymore. Let me go ahead and knock out our upper sideband and AM real fast, and then we'll be done. The alignment will be finished, the clarifier will be unlocked and operational. So we'll be back here in a minute. So we're back and we've got all the modes aligned, and I'm just going to show you this clarifier first. So right now you see clarifier is still at 12 o'clock. I'm going to move it all the way counterclockwise, and you see it is still all the way over there, and we'll go the other direction. You see it's all the way over there. Hope you can see that. Yeah, you can. All right, so there's been no trickery done here as far as pulling the knob and resetting it. Let's get it back in the center. Now that I've changed it, it's going to change my output here. Hopefully I can get it back where I got it, or where I aligned it at. So it should be close. All right, so we'll go ahead and key up. We're in lower sideband now. We'll key up and we'll look at our output on lower sideband. And we're within 20 hertz. We're 12 hertz off. So we're 1 kilohertz down from the carrier at channel 19 where we want to be at. That's great. All right, now we're going to go to upper sideband there. And we're going to look and see how close we got that one. So that's about 38 hertz high. I'm fine with that. I could sit there and tweak it a little bit here and there. Every time you put your tool in there and pull it out, it changes slightly between what you're seeing on your free counter and what you end up with once your tool's removed. So 36 hertz, that's fine. I'm not worried about it getting any closer than that. All right, so, and of course, that's why we have an unlocked clarifier, so we don't have to worry about it. All right, we'll look at AM here. Let's turn our tone off and just dead key, and we'll see where that one's sitting at. We are at 185, so we're 80 hertz high on there. So our center slot lands us within 100 hertz on AM, which I'm fine with, and about, what we say, 30 hertz on upper sideband and about 12 hertz on lower, and that's fine. That will work just fine. So let me hook up this radio to an outside antenna, and we'll see if we can hear some skip coming in. You can hear what it sounds like. We'll be back in a second.
Hands on, get over and get me some chicken tacos to make into chicken soup for dinner, no doubt. I'll belly to Los Angeles. I'm out of here.
All right, so there we go. We've got some skip on 38, not much, but we got a little bit there. You see our clarifier is still centered there, like it should be. And we're right where we want to be. Let's see if we can pick up some AM traffic somewhere. I heard somebody on 20 earlier.
30. Rambling, but you was a rambling man? You was a rambling man? Yeah, it's okay. I just beat the crap out of everybody in Southern California, Monday. On that old orange bug? Yeah, whatever that old orange bug.
Yeah, that's it, guys. There's another clarifier unlock for you. So I hope that helps somebody out, and 73s everybody, and we'll see you next time.